all across perspectives is using our perspective of concepts, ideas, and latest news events that are reshaping the world that you live in to educate and inform so that the average person can prosper in this ever-changing world.
Usury is the worst of all crimes, but you wouldn't look at a place like Germany, because all we know about Germany is what they told us about Germany. Mr. Evil Hitler. Yeah, right, okay. Nothing to see there. Yeah, there is something to see there. Germany was on its knees in a worse position than us. Way worse. Their money was worth nothing. It took a wheelbarrow of Deutschmarks to buy a loaf of bread. Germans were starving. 6 million unemployed, 2 million homeless. You could go to Berlin and buy a mother and daughter for sex. Bestiality was going on. Lesbianism and homosexuality. All of that was going on. In 1933, a man named Adolf, and this is where I gotta say it, there's a lesson there. This is why I say it. As Jesus said, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." In 1933, Judea declares war on Germany. Adolf Hitler was the only popularly democratically elected leader in all of Europe. Winston Churchill wasn't. None of them were. He's only just come to power in a coalition government. Judea declares war on Germany. 14 million Jews of the world unite calling for the destruction of Germany. How many people know that? That might be relevant. That might be relevant. If Judea declares war on Germany, that might be relevant. Did Judea declare war on Palestine? Oh, they say Hamas. What are they doing? They're genociding my family over there. The same Judea, the Jewish state of Israel. We're not allowed to say that. When Adolf came to power, 6 million unemployed, 2 million homeless, crime off the charts, pedophilia rampant, debauchery and the sexual enslavement of humanity. Berlin was the moral cesspool capital of the world. Within 5 years of taking power, this bankrupt, starving nation had the highest wages in Europe, 6 weeks mandatory vacation on cruise ships that weren't allowed into this country because the British did not want British people to see how good the Germans had it. All of that he achieved, and he outlawed usury. Adolf Hitler outlawed usury. You know who else did that? Oh, a guy named Muammar Gaddafi did that. Oh shit, something bad happened to him. John F. Kennedy did, oh shit, he got shot in the head too.
So my friends, this right here is the Woodrow Wilson nail in the coffin of everything we've been talking about, how the medical industry is set up to get you enslaved and entrapped in the system, indentured servitude at its purest form from the moment that you pop out of your mama. Video 5, D's. Roll that bad boy.
President between 1913 and 1921 from the private papers of Woodrow Wilson, quote, "Very soon, every American will be required to register their biological property in a national system designed to keep track of the people, and that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. By such methodology, we can compel people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as chargeback for our fiat paper currency. Every American will be forced to register or suffer not being able to work and earn a living. They will be our chattel, and we will hold the security interest over them forever by operation of law merchant under the scheme of secured transactions. Americans, by unknowingly or unwittingly delivered the bills of lading to us, will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent, forever to remain economic slaves through taxation secured by their pledges. They will be stripped of their rights and given commercial value, designated to keep us a profit that will be none the wiser."
Did you know Woodrow Wilson said that? Those were his private papers. Did you know Woodrow Wilson said that? Because I sure did. I didn't know he was all about enslaving and entrapping us and getting us to submit and pledging. Let me read you this. In ancient terminology, pledging is the formal commitment or oath taken by an individual to join a group or organization such as a religious sect or social society. You have to do it if you want to be an American citizen. You got to do it if you want to live in the US of A. You got to sell yourself to the corporation if you want to have an opportunity to even make a penny of the money we make off of you.
John F. Kennedy was short-circuiting the New World Order. He had ordered the printing of constitutional money, United States notes, which would have destroyed the Federal Reserve, which is not an agency of the United States government. It's a private corporation owned and operated by the world bankers, controlled by the Illuminati. And its purpose was to destroy the middle class in this country and thus our economy. You see it unfolding now. You are seeing, and I predicted this well in advance, you are seeing the destruction of the economy of the United States. And it will continue. It will not get better. It's downhill from here on out. Unless we nationalize the Federal Reserve, lock up the criminals who own it, cancel the debt, which will then bankrupt the Illuminati, which is exactly what we ought to do, print constitutional money, which cannot be usurped, which cannot lead to our destruction, and go back to what we're supposed to do, and quit contracting for benefits. We're escaping from the laws of nature, and there's a terrible consequence for that. You can't contract for somebody else to keep you alive. You have to be responsible within your life to keep yourself alive. And if you can't do it, then you have to die. That's the law of nature.
Did some digging this morning and found this record. And this is a UCC financing statement with the United States of America Department of Defense. Look who's the debtor. The Federal Reserve System. That's who prints the money. And it's in a trust, $14 trillion. Who is a jurisdiction organization of the United States of America, but lowercase, right? The lower USA. We know what that is. But that's not even a kicker. This is the kicker. Miscellaneous, in brackets, with this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. But look what they included in their lien. As all real men with hands and legs and all real land in the United States of America, $14 trillion, with trust in God, this real estate is with the public. So it's all the people with hands and legs. They put a lien on your body.
Hey everybody, check this out. This is gold. Solid gold's been used for thousands of years, okay? I want you to see what's going on. They're pulling a slick one on you. The U.S. Sovereign Wealth Fund. You ever heard of that? No, because he just made it up. This is where everything is going. This is a brand new thing right here, okay? And what we got is, while various assets could be monetized, gold has captured the market's attention. They're talking about turning real-world things into digital assets. Do not be tricked by this.
Because these banking reformations will impact the entire world, the IMF, World Bank, and other countries had to be involved. The reformations require that the Federal Reserve be absorbed by the U.S. Treasury Department, and the bank's fraudulent activities must be stopped and payment must be made for past harm. In 1998, the military generals who originally participated in the farmer claims process realized that the U.S. Supreme Court justices had no intentions of implementing the accords, so they decided the only way to implement the reformations was through a law passed by Congress. In 1999, a 75-page document known as the National Economic Security and Reformation Act was submitted to Congress, where it sat with little action for almost a year. Late one evening, on March 9, 2000, a written quorum call was hand-delivered by Delta Force and Navy SEALs to 15 members of the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House, who were sponsors and co-sponsors of NESARA. They were immediately escorted by the Delta Force and Navy SEALs to the respective voting chambers, where they passed the National Economic Security and Reformation Act. These 15 members of Congress were the only people lawfully allowed to hold office in accordance with the original 13th Amendment. Remember, British soldiers destroyed copies of the Titles and Nobility Amendment in the War of 1812 because it prevented anyone, who had ties to the Crown of England from holding public office. NESARA is the most groundbreaking reformation to sweep not only this country, but our planet in its entire history. The act does away with the Federal Reserve Bank, the IRS, the shadow government, and much, much more. NESARA implements the following changes. Zeroes out all credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt due to illegal banking and government activities. This is the Federal Reserve's worst nightmare, a jubilee or a forgiveness of debt. Abolishes the income tax, abolishes the IRS. Employees of the IRS will be transferred into the U.S. Treasury National Sales Tax area. Creates a 14% flat rate non-essential new items only sales tax revenue for the government. In other words, food and medicine will not be taxed, nor will used items such as old homes.
Hey y'all, what you doing? I'm sorry I couldn't get on last night. I had so much to do and I was so tired. Trying to get a lot of campaigning done for Trump before he comes Monday to South Carolina. But I want to jump on here and show you at least this paperwork that I promised I'd show you. And then I'm going to try to get on live tonight. We'll jump on and talk about some stuff. I don't know what time yet. Still got to do some more things for Trump's campaign before I can get on. But I did want to show you this. This is the paperwork that came from, there's like 50-something papers here, and I can't go through all of them because I don't have time. But there's a lot here. But it all came from the Office of Military Settlement Trust, United States of America. It was restricted at one time, but now it's not. Office of Military Settlement. And here's a letter. The letter says, Dear President Trump, known all men by these presents, congratulations on your recent win of 2016 election. I envy not the enormous undertaking before you and the task to make America great again and enrich the lives of the American people. There are some that would subvert your presidency, yet like others like us who wish only for you to succeed and peacefully restore the republic to what it once meant to us when the founding fathers issued a bill of equity to King George III. The secretary and administrator each may reject a gift when the rejection is in the interest of the government. I trust the gift will be used for the benefit of the people. Please find enclosed sufficient monies to offset the federal public debt. See that? The gift monies was delivered in honor to the Bureau of Fiscal Service at Parkersburg, West Virginia, 3:40 p.m. on March 21st, 2017 to Jamie Sailing. The instrument is directed to the attention of Commissioner Cheryl Morrow. You now have the opportunity of solvency and to issue interest-free USN, as did President Lincoln in 1862. So when you hear President Trump compare himself to Lincoln, this is why. Okay. These are all just different papers. They mean different things. I don't have time to go over them with you. U.S. peak tracking. Oh, here's the paper we want to see. This is a file copy, so it has a line through it. But this is where the bank had transferred $21 trillion. $21 trillion, which is what our debt ceiling was at that 2017. So our debts have been paid off. What you see on the news is a lie. We do not have a debt. We are not $32 trillion in debt. We are not in debt. We are out of debt because of President Trump, and he is in the process of tearing down and dismantling the corporation and the Federal Reserve. So all of it's coming down. You will pay no more taxes. We will get money coming back to us. You will get a good amount coming back to you when this all happens and all the everything, the bank and all has been reset. Financial reset has done. United States of America, Department of State, but these are all papers that tells, comes along with it when they transferred the money. But there are also, you can see here John Kerry signed this. There are also papers in here where they gave each state $333 trillion. They put a lien on each state. That's so they can't spend money unnecessarily like they're not supposed to. So tell me this man is not smart. Our president is the smartest man there is. So this is your proof that our debt has been paid off. We do not have any debt. Don't listen to the news, period. We don't have any debt. And we're dismantling the system, so it's coming together so that we can see Nasara Jasara come to pass. And if you don't know what that is, I'll explain it later. I'll try to get on later tonight and do a live. I don't know when. I got a little bit left here to do for my mom. And then I've got to do some more canvassing for Trump. And then I'll do a live. But I'll see you later on this afternoon, okay? Y'all have a good day.
You guys out there think this is a joke? There is no more Federal Reserve note on the U.S. debt clock. It is now the U.S. Treasury dollar. QFS is in place. Let me show you. This is essentially the bill. This is on Congress.gov. I'm going to show you guys. This is HR 6227. Look it up. This bill directs the president to implement a national quantum initiative program. Amongst all things, establish the goals and priorities for a plan to accelerate the development of quantum information science and technology applications. Quantum information science and the use of laws. Quantum physics for storage, transmission, manipulation, or measurement of information. What does this all mean? Let me put it in layman's terms. Basically, what it means is the monetary debt system is going to put an end to the financial slavery and control over the populace. The QFS is an advanced financial system launched to eradicate monopoly on a monetary system for that purpose. The system comprised of artificial intelligence and complex computer programs fully backed by banks as needed. Quantum financial system would be a breakthrough in the world of banking, which will lead to a new era of banking. QFS will not be influenced by government policies, rather be entirely backed by tangible assets like gold, platinum, silver, and will not be based upon mere piece of paper, which has no evidentiary value. National Quantum Initiative Act. Here it is, run at Congress.gov, HR 6227, National Quantum Initiative Act. You guys go on QFS Live, you can read all these articles. These articles are really important. You can see, like, talking about the BRICS common currency, BRICS to create further payment mechanisms, precious metals as moving forward, etc. I don't tell you guys this to scare you, but the quantum financial system is in effect. It's already in effect. It's going through. The banks are shutting down. Silicon Valley Bank started it. Now the dominoes are going to fall. 187 banks are said to be wiped out. They don't have the assets. They don't have the gold. When you go and you put in your money in, they don't have the gold to back your money. So what they're doing is they're taking out loans from other bigger banks. And these bigger banks cannot loan them the money because they don't have the actual gold or the silver or the platinum. There's no monetary value that are backing cash. Cash is going to be gone. Cash is not king anymore, guys. It's going to be digital assets. And to be exact, these are some of those digital assets. You have XRP Ripple, XLM Stellar, Zenfin. You have IOTA. You have Algorand. You have gold. You have silver. I say this so you guys are prepared. Quantum financial system is in effect. Nasara Jasara. Go on QFS.live. Go on Congress.org. Trust me, this is in effect. You're not going to be able to get your money out of the banks. Silicon Valley started it. That bank fell. It started the domino effect. Dominoes are following. All the other banks are going to follow. Get ready for the digital dollar.
Is this digital dollar that they're issuing and doing this pilot with, is it actually a dollar like I know it?
Yes. Yes.
So therefore it's worth 67 point blah-de-blah US cents right now?
Precisely. You can think of it as exactly the dollar that you know today, but it's in a different form factor, a different technological format, which means that it can do things that the dollars we have today cannot do.
Okay, so what's the difference therefore between the digital currency that the Reserve Bank is rolling out and doing this pilot with, and with what I'm doing right now? Because I don't use cash. So therefore, all of my transactions are digital. So surely our currency is already digital, is it not?
It is, but the exciting thing here is if it's on blockchain rails, it means that you can interact with the digital dollar and a digital asset using smart contracts. So computer code that says if this, then that. So imagine you can automate a whole lot of transactions that today you need an intermediary to be involved in.
So just give me a practical example of that. Would that be that I can transfer money directly to your account, immediately moving it there, because the blockchain would know each of us on either side of that transaction?
That's right. There's a shared ledger. So all it has to do is update and say that Ross has just paid Sophie. So it just updates a line in a shared ledger. It's very efficient.
So that means, say, for example, payments to business could be one of the big advantages of this, where, you know, we know how long it takes, in some cases, even government payments to go to small and medium-sized businesses. They could go immediately using these types of technologies.
They could go immediately if that's what you're looking for, or you could add conditions. So pay Ross, but pay him on Tuesday and only when a certain event has occurred.
Right, so that's okay. So then, given this pilot program is now rolling out, how long is it before businesses in Australia, before you and I can practically start to use this type of digital currency?
Well, I expect that the Reserve Bank will be careful and cautious. They will do a series of further experiments, and they'll want to know that they've got the design right. There's many ways that these things can be designed, and they need to get that right. So I think what's really important here is to do applied innovation to learn first and to get it right rather than to be first.
So who will be a part of this pilot program? Is it just the banks transacting with each other, or is there a broader audience that will be involved?
It's much broader than that. So it's not just banks. There's also some fintechs and different organisations which are putting forward use cases. And in addition to that, we are getting customers to test because we want a broad segment of the community to give us feedback on what works and what can be improved.
Okay, but then we should note that this would be what's called a stable coin, isn't it? Because effectively it is a central bank digital currency, so therefore it is rock solid with the Aussie dollar.
That is correct. It is one for one with the Aussie dollar. It's just a new digital form of that. It's slightly different to a stable coin, but it is stable in value because it is backed by and an obligation of the Reserve Bank.